Hi there, my name's Vince from mymatevince.com, and in this video today is going to be another trying to fix video. This one is going to be trying to fix things around the home, part 3. So I've already done a part 1 and part 2 of these. So basically what it is just like every single household, things fail, things need changing. But what I'm doing is every time something fails over the weeks and months, I'm recording it. Then when I get 4 or 5 things that I fixed or tried to fix, then I will put them together in a video and release it. So I'm not saying the way I'm doing it is the correct way of doing it, but this is how I go about doing things. Hopefully some of you might learn a few things, and even if you do it a different way, sometimes it can be interesting just to see how other people try to fix things. So there we go. Let's get started. Next we're going to be changing the battery in this Volkswagen Golf Key FOB here. So this is a Mark 7, and if you have a look when I put it in here, it will come up. We've changed the key battery. So that's exactly what we're going to do. So what we need to do is just flip the key out, and we need to get a knife, and basically we need to lever out this section here. This is where the battery is. So all we're doing is getting a knife or any flat object, and we're just levering this section up. So if you have a look there you go, you see it's popped. Now I'll take this bit out here. Actually the front bit hasn't popped, so let's just do that. There you go. Like that. And then that comes out like that, and then you see you have the battery in here. So make a note of which way round it goes. You can see all the writing is up the top. And now you can order yourself up one, so you don't have to take it out. You can actually see here it says CR2025. And basically what that means is, I've got one here, it basically means that the width of it is 20 millimeters, and then the depth of it is 2.5 millimeters. Because you can get batteries that are very similar. For example, 2032. The 32 would be 3.2 millimeters in depth. But this is the one you need for this particular car. So we're going to get a little flathead screwdriver and just pop that out here. Oh, there you go, it's flung across the room. And now we're going to get our replacement battery. Now with the old battery, make sure you throw it away properly, because these are actually dangerous for young children if they were to swallow them. So now we're just going to be placing it in like so. Doesn't matter that it's Duracell, again it's a 2025. And now get the cover, clipping in that way first, and just use a little bit of force and clip it down into place. And now let's put it back in the car, and hopefully it won't say replace the key battery anymore. Okay, so we're back in the car now. Put it in the ignition. There you go. You see, it's not coming up with low battery anymore. So a nice straightforward fix. So next up we have a faulty oven door seal. So this one should be straightforward. If you have a look here, to keep the heat into the oven, there's a little rubber seal that goes around the door here. And what's happened is it's dropped down. Now when it originally happened, I thought it just came out of its little groove here. But it hasn't. It's actually cut from this bit here. You can see it would have been joined up here, and throughout the years it's just failed from here. Now I've had a look at it, and it actually looks like in the corners there's little clips. So if I give this a little turn, there we go. Can you see there's a little clip here? So the way the new one's going to go in is I'm just going to sort of turn it 90 degrees and then find its little home. There you go. And twist it like that. So it should be quite straightforward. So with it, they're just joined on every single corner. So what I'm going to do is take the old one off and then get the new one on. Now, annoyingly, it was really expensive, the new one. Oh, and this one's a bit grimed in here in the corner. So other needs a clean. Yeah, there we go, that's the old one off. So it actually cost me £25 for a new one. So here it is. Now I've just got to make sure I put it on the right corner. So obviously it's not going to go that way around, because you can see it's too short, because the oven is slightly wider than it is tall. So that's how it's going to go. So let's pop it in and give it a twist, nice and easy. Pop it in and give it a twist. There we go. We've just got to kind of find the middle of the corner for the holes. That's that one. This one's probably going to be the hardest because I have to stretch it. Right, it looks like that's bent round now. Hold on. I'm going to do this one and see which way it's supposed to be facing. That's what's supposed to be facing down, okay? I'm going to get some pliers and bend that one round. Hope this doesn't break on me now. Bent very easy. Okay, well that's bent back now. I think I'm going to do this side next. There we go, that's gone in that side. Now this is the last one. There we are, it's in. Yeah, looks like it's in the correct place there. Just notice that there's a couple of little holes at the bottom here. I wonder whether those holes, let me check the old one, didn't notice that, but there is actually tiny little holes at the bottom. Let me see, maybe I've been lucky, because I know which way this came off. So let's have a look at the original one and see where the holes are. Excellent. Okay, so the holes are down the bottom. I don't know why that makes a difference. I don't know what the holes would be for. Maybe would it be to let any fluid drain out into this little tray bit here? Possibly, I'm not sure. I'd say they'd clog up pretty easy. Right, okay, so that is it. So that was a nice easy one. Let's move on. So next up we have this doorbell here, and what happens is it's lost its ding. So it's got its dong but not its ding. So it doesn't go ding dong, it just goes dong. Let me show you. And when you're watching TV or if there's some music on in the background, it's actually a lot harder to hear the doorbell when it just goes dong without the ding beforehand, because you kind of need the pitch of the two sounds to be able to hear it better. Hopefully it's just going to be a case of changing the batteries over, because I haven't done it in a while. But it might be slightly more complicated because in this instance here I've got two bells on the one pusher. So I've got one pusher outside, but then I've got a bell here and I've also got a bell in the back room. And when I first of all did it, I thought it would be just a case of connecting them up, but they conflicted with each other, and basically it was like they were, when you pressed one, the other one didn't sound properly. It's kind of complicated. So what I did is I ran it down telephone cable, and it had 4 wires in it. So it was 2-pair telephone cable, so it had 4 cores. So 2 of the wires go to this one here, and the other 2 wires go to the one in the back room. Yet they all go to the one press button thing outside. So that's why it might look slightly different in here than what you're expecting. Right, so I think from memory it's just a case of pulling this off. I don't know whether you have to squeeze it or not. There we go. Yeah, it's just a case of clip fits in the top here, so I suppose when you squeeze the sides it ever so slightly raises it up here. Right, okay, so what we've got here is a 9-volt battery, and you can see my big mess of wires here where it's crimped through to the other room as well. Not quite sure why it didn't work when it was just all connected as one, but so basically this comes from outside on the blues, and then I've had to crimp through the oranges which come from outside, which go to the bell in the other room. Right, let's change this battery out. It's a 9-volt. Right, so I've got a new battery here. I'm just going to measure the old battery with the multimeter just to see if it is weak or not. Yeah, okay, so it's 8 volts. So hopefully when we put the new one in, it should be okay. This one's measuring 9.6 volts, so hopefully it's as simple as that. Let's clip back in there, put it into its little home. These are still free to move. So it's quite nice. All that happens is a little punch comes out and gives us a wallop. So it must go, or ding dong. Right, let's press it now. Ah, that's better. So I've got the ding and the dong back, and that is so much more recognisable as a doorbell. Right, let's move on. So the next thing we're looking at is this bathroom cabinet here. Now what's happened is it's this sort of white plasticky cover has come loose. So if you have a look, you can see now, it's not broken yet, but if I was to leave it, it probably would start to drop and then break. So this is all loose here. It's just held on this side here. So let's see whether it can come off completely. No, it seems to be stuck. I'm not sure what's stuck on though. Must be just a very tiny bit at the bottom here. Yeah, okay, well I'm not going to force it off because it is stuck there. So what I'm going to do with this is, now there is obviously going to be some sort of glue you can get. I don't know whether PVA, oh there we go, it's come off. I don't know whether PVA would stick it or not. But I think, because I haven't got a wide variety of glue, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use double-sided tape. So I'm just going to put a length across here, and maybe across the bottom. And then I'm just going to stick it into place. And I'm hoping, because it's such a snug fit, that that will do. Obviously, if it fails, then I'll have to peel off the tape and look into the glue that I get. But I'm not sure what glue you would use to stick plastic to wood, so I need to look into that. But for the time being, I'm just going to use tape. Now, also, while I'm here, I've noticed there's this little light's gone up here. Now this is an LED light, it was halogen originally. You can just see that it is slightly lit up and also it's making a noise as well. So I'm going to change it out first to give me a bit more light and then do the bottom bit. So these fittings here are GU10, so I have to twist them ever so slightly counterclockwise, so anti-clockwise this way here. And you can get a little rubber tool to use where you suck up onto it and turn it around, but with these ones I find it quite easy just to do it with my fingers or my thumb. So you can see now I've just twisted it and it should just drop down like that. So if I wasn't filming I would have the lights off. It's always safer just to have the lights off. So now I need to change this to a new LED lamp. Right, so this is one we've taken out, and these were quite expensive when I got them. They're about £7 or £8, and it was probably about 3 or 4 years ago. And although it says that they will last for years and years, actually they don't. Every single one in this ensuite here has failed. And I think what it is the LED will last for years, but it's the other components in it that fail. So personally, I don't really believe that you should go out and spend an absolute fortune on these ones. I've got these cheap Wix ones here, and I don't know what I paid for these. I think I got them half price. They work out at about a pound each. And with these ones, every time I've replaced one of these, I've replaced them with these. And these now have been in, some of these have been in for 1.5 years or coming up on 2 years, and I've had no problems with them yet. So I don't believe that it equates to the more money you spend, the better quality the product. Maybe what would have been wise is to go for a branded product like Philips or something, and then maybe, possibly, they might be slightly better quality. But I'm quite happy with these ones. The only thing you've got to be careful of is the amount of lumens that they pump out. So if you have a look here, actually it says there you go, 40,000 hours. Absolutely no way. No way, these wouldn't have even been on for 4,000 hours, and they failed. But if you have a look here, it says, let me see the lumens, because the lumens is the here we go. Right, so these ones here are warm white. This is one that I'm taking out, and if you have a look, warm white, it says here that they are 320 lumens. So lumens is the amount of brightness that they give off. So obviously the higher the lumen, the better. And also the other thing to look for is temperature. Now these are 3000 K, I believe that stands for Kelvin.
So these are going to mimic a warm white rather than a cool white. So cool white is going to be really bright. What I would say is similar to maybe a hospital, like a kind of operating theatre. But warm white is more like the old-fashioned incandescent bulb, so it's giving off a yellowy light. Now, when it comes to these ones here, it does tell you what lumens they are, so 350 lumens, but it doesn't tell you what they are Kelvin-wise. So when you're getting something like this, you actually haven't got a clue. So for example, if you were going to use it in a kitchen or even a bathroom, like this one here, sometimes it's nice to go for the cool white because it kind of gives off a nice bright light. But with these ones, these are very yellow. So although these are supposed to be warm white, I find that with these ones, they're actually warmer than these ones here. So the overall look in the bathroom is more yellow than white, which isn't always the look that people want to have. So brightness wise, these ones here, the cheap ones, actually give off more light, and they're still only 5 watts. So that's 5 watts. And if you have a look here, you will see that these are also 5 watts. Now remember, the lower the wattage, normally the lower the lumens as well. Right, let's pop this one in. Right, so for this one now, I'm going to turn the lights off. I've had a look up there, so I've got an idea of where it needs to go. So I'm just turning the lights off. It can be fiddly to get in sometimes. So it's in now, and now once it's fully in, you just need to twist it about a little bit less than a quarter of a turn clockwise. And there we go. We have light again. So now let's fix that bottom thing. Right, so we're just going to be putting some double-sided tape on it. Now, I don't know how long this is going to last. I know it's not the best fix. Thing is though, it's going to be the easiest fix for me to do right now, because if I was to use some sort of epoxy or something, then I'll be worried that it will all gloop up and it won't lie flat, because I want this to lie as flat as possible. I think it is going to actually work all right, because it's already a very snug fit. Just going to force that down as much as I can. Let's do another bit. With this one, I'm going to go this way. And now I'm going to put this bit up the side here. So on both sides I've got just a tiny bit showing, which will help the side bit stick. And now I'm just going to put a few bits down the bottom here. Or in fact, I might be able to get a whole. Yeah, I'm going to take this bottom one off, and I'm going to be able to get a whole strip on there by just bending it round. Just want to make it as flat as possible. Well, I'm quite happy with that. So let's peel these off and stick them on. Okay, so I'm going to try and get this in one go. So I'm just going to loosely put it here to begin with and get the bottom bit on. Yeah, I think that's going to work. I suppose the other way of doing it would be to dismantle this, because it's just held on with screws. In fact, that probably would have been slightly easier, because it's just held on with screws up here. Right, now, there is a slight millimetre gap up the top here, well, less than a millimetre, but that's not going to be seen unless you're right down low. But I think that's going to hold, because
it's kind of held for a while anyway, even with no, even with no glue on it. So I think that is actually going to be a lasting repair. But if it's not a problem. I'll just have to read about what glue is needed, and then it should, if it's going to fail and perish, it should all peel off okay anyway. Yeah, happy with that. Well, okay, so that concludes the end of this video. Yes, a lot of the fixes were really, really easy, but they still need fixing. And if you left things like that, if I left that, what would happen is it would start to drop. Then every time this closes, it would start to chip away at it. And then the alternative is to try to paint it or get some kind of plastic paint, which is going to end up being quite a big job. And it's never going to look as good as the finish that that when it came from the manufacturers. So although it's a very easy job to do, it's still a job that needs doing, and if you don't do it, it's just going to get worse and worse. So yeah, that's it. As more and more jobs build up around the house, I will film them and continue on this series. If you did like it, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe for more how to and trying to fix videos. Take care, bye now.